All right. Got some trouble with this phone mount. What is going on, everybody? I thought I'd go live because I haven't been on YouTube too much lately and tell you about what's going on. So, if you guys remember, I had a older trailer that I did quite a bit of work to. It was pretty much car dolly, and then trying to upgrade to a regular car trailer. And that trailer was great. It was a little short, didn't haul very good with a truck on it. Unfortunately, it would sway like you wouldn't believe, and the ramp, yes. So I went out and I bought a brand new trailer from Leonard Trailers, same place I got the car dolly from. I loved that car dolly. It worked great. Never had an issue with it once. So I went ahead and I got this trailer, and yeah, I haven't even had a chance to show you guys yet because I've been busy using it a lot. Hauled I've only had it about a week, and I've hauled 4 cars and a tractor on it. Put some miles on it, all that, and really shaking it down because it's under warranty, so now's the time to do it. And I noticed that when I drive down the road with it, I could hear the brakes dragging in the hubs, which is interesting because I don't even have a brake controller in this truck. So the brake controller wasn't sending any signal to the brakes to make them do that, because there wasn't one to even do it. And eventually, if you put some miles on it, obviously the brakes would get pretty hot and they would drag pretty hard, especially when you went to back up the trailer. If you were on dirt or gravel, it would leave a nice little rut on the passenger side rear tire, which is the only one I think was even dragging. The other one didn't seem to get so hot. So I went ahead and I dropped it off at the dealership where I bought it. I mean, this is a brand new trailer, 2018 trailer. When I first looked at it, it had just been dropped off a couple of hours before from the manufacturer to the dealership, and they hauled the trailers stacked on top of each other. This was the one on the bottom because it was the biggest one. And so I mean I'm definitely the first user of it. And I brought it back to him, and the guy said, "Oh, well, we'll try and look at it by this afternoon and get back with you." They didn't call me back that day, yesterday, and I called them again this morning, asked them, and they said, "Well, we're about to go look at it." A couple minutes go by, they call me again, and they said that they tried to replicate the problem by dragging it around their parking lot with a forklift, and obviously it doesn't drag when the brakes are cold, right? But the brakes are just lightly dragging, but getting worse and worse as they heat up. And I tried to explain this to him, and he didn't quite get it. I go all day long. Here it is about 4 o'clock, and I don't want to really get home that late. And so had to run to the next town over to go pick it up from the dealer. And I asked him if they've looked at it, and he tells me again they couldn't replicate it, and they checked the wiring. And I said, well, it's got nothing to do with the wiring. I don't even have a brake controller. My truck doesn't really need the help from them trailer brakes. It stops fine with pretty much any load I dare put on that trailer. And so it's got nothing to do with the wiring because there's no power to it at the moment. And he goes, "Oh." I said, "Well, did you guys take it apart? I mean, I told you it's dragging." And he said, "No, we didn't want to take it apart. It's a lot of this and that." And I said, "Well, so how do you plan on even diagnosing the problem if you drag it 2 feet across your parking lot with a forklift at less than 5 miles an hour? You're not going to get any heat in them brakes doing that." He said, "Why don't you hook it up to one of your trucks and take it for a ride around the block and try that again?" He said he couldn't do that. I said, "Okay, well, you got to tear the brake drum off it and see something's missing, something ain't adjusted right, something ain't right." And he goes, "Well, we can't take it apart for this and that reason." He said, "Well, it'll be like probably 2 weeks before we can get to it." I said, "Well, you guys were in plenty of a hurry to sell it to me. I mean, technically, I'm not going to say specifically which dealer it is because I don't want them to get in trouble for it, because each one of these Leonard Trailer Dealers is, I believe, independently owned, so it wouldn't really matter. It's a Leonard, spot. It's independently owned. But they sold it to me with no inspection sticker, which is a violation of Virginia law in the first place. They really weren't supposed to even do that. And then, I have a written warranty on it, and they want to hold it up for 2 weeks before they actually do anything to diagnose it. Well, I didn't buy this trailer just for the sake of having a trailer. I bought it to, as part of my business to make money. And, I don't have the, I didn't buy it to have a bunch of downtime. I sold my old trailer to, partially finance this deal. So now I don't even have my old one to continue working with while this thing's in the shop. I thought it'd be a quick little thing. They could replace every part in them brakes in an hour, and they haven't even taken the wheel off the thing. So, not real pleased about it. I told him I'm not going to wait 2 weeks for it. He goes, well, you can bring it back later. I said, well, I can't really use it like that. I'm going to destroy the brakes in it, and I think if it gets hot enough, it'll catch on fire. And it's definitely happened. I haven't seen it happen on a trailer, but I've seen parking brake shoes that have dragged on trucks, and they heat up so much that they catch fire. So I told him, you know what, I will come pick it up right now, and I'll just give you guys the bill. And he didn't really like the sound of that, but I said, well, you can't get to it. I'll just invoice you. He goes, well, a lot of shops aren't gonna work like that. I said, well, guess what? I happen to own the shop that's gonna work on it, and I can tell you we're gonna work just like that. I'll send you the bill for the parts and labor. And he stammered over himself, but he really didn't have much of a good answer for that, because they refused to fix it. They refused to even take it apart. So, well, you gotta give us the time to do it. I said, you guys have had it for going on, 30 hours now, if you include overnight. You've had it for over a whole working day, and you haven't even taken the wheel off. So anyway, I'm on my way over there. I'll see if I'm still on. I'll show you the trailer anyway. What's up, Jake? Nah, Jake, I haven't watched any of Rick's videos probably in, I'd say, at least 3 or 4 months. Maybe that's a little bit exaggerated, but I haven't seen one in months, needless to say. I kind of keep up with Randy Barber a little bit, just seeing what's going on in his world, but even him I haven't really been watching, because I don't know what happened to him. He started doing this weird thing where he drive around Ubers and all that crap, and then he tried to pitch his dealership to the people in his Uber, which, I mean, hey, if it helps him, it helps him, but it sounds like an inefficient use of your time. So, what's up, Amy? But yeah, it sounds like, if you got a successful dealership, running around an Uber ain't really an efficient use of your time. I'm not sure if he's really being upfront as to the reasons. I totally understand people struggle, people need to make a little extra money. I don't fault them for it, but it's just kind of funny to me. Like, I don't know if I would have mentioned it in front of everybody. If you're trying to sell your dealer program and trying to tell everybody how successful you're going to be, I don't think I would have publicly announced that I was driving an Uber instead of selling cars. But that's just my personal opinion. That might not mean anything, but so. But yeah, I don't know if you guys got anything interesting. I'm open to hearing it if there's any interesting news about him. It's hard to figure out what's going on with him. It's hard to figure out what's going on with him because his videos, like, the information is kind of padded in between a bunch of not information. That's Tim. Oh, Greg. What's up, Greg? It's Tim in Florida. Yeah. How old are you? Amy, my video is not a dating site. Greg thinks that Rick will end up in prison. Mark his words. Yeah. I mean, why? Did he do something? What happened? I have no idea what's going on with them, so at this point, you guys know more about it than I do. I even took down my videos about them because, you know, I really, you know, I was hoping to help people, but it wasn't really working out that way. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping to be able to link this video up to when I get to this dealership, but might run on a little while till I get there because I'm still a couple miles away anyway. But yeah, I was hoping to show you guys the trailer and all that. I probably will do like a full review of the trailer because aside from the brake problem that I'm having, which is not even that big of a deal, the only reason why I even brought it back is because they're supposed to fix it for free. That's what a warranty is. But normally, if I owned the trailer, I probably would have fixed it in like 10 minutes and called it a day. But, you know, I do own the trailer, but if I didn't have the warranty, I would have fixed it in 10 minutes and called it a day. But, you know, I kind of figured that they would do it for free, and if there was a part needed, they'd order it, and I'd just come back today, and it would be good to go. So, but yeah. So, probably stopped for lunch. I should have got lunch before going to get my trailer, but wasn't well thought out. If I had been smart, that's what I would have done. I would have gotten something to eat. That way I could go through the drive-thru, but it's alright. I'm already on my way. I got you guys watching. What else is happening? Oh yeah, funny story. If you guys remember the Nissan Altima, the guy that he had traded it for for some plane tickets. He he took delivery of that car, and a while after taking delivery of the car, mind you, ended up blowing the transmission out of it, which, I mean, sucks, you know, but the car was sold as is. I did not sell it as a dealer. I sold it. The title was in the name of my company, but it was it was not a dealer sale. It was under what's called a mechanic storage lien. It was a liquidation under a mechanic storage lien, which in the state of Virginia is automatically assumed an as-is sale, unless you have a warranty expressed in clear writing as to specifically what components are warranted in the terms of the warranty. Even at a dealer, from what I understand, it's considered as is. Although a dealer would also have to put that in their buyer's guide. But yeah, anyway, he bought it, and for a pretty heavy discount, because I said in the ad and everywhere I had advertised the car and spoken with everybody that it had a transmission issue, and I told him a couple of things it could have been, and I said you can try doing this or that. Long story short, he calls me up, says the Nissan dealership wants to put a whole transmission in it and wants to grab $5,100 for that job off him, which is exorbitant. It's definitely not what you would pay at any independent repair shop. So, that being said, that $5,100 is about as realistic of a price as, if somebody told you $1 million, because nobody's ever going to pay that to put a transmission in 2008 Altima, unless they're crazy. But anyway, they said they want to put a whole transmission in it, and I said, "Oh, sorry to hear that." And they said, "So I want you." Basically, he said he wanted his money back. He said he wanted all of his money back, and wanted me to buy the car back off him. And I said, "Well, that's tough because that was an as-is deal. There was no warranty implied, and even if there was a warranty implied, it still wouldn't get you to have somebody buy the car back from you, even if it was a dealer with a warranty. They would just offer to fix it at whatever shop that accepts that warranty, whatever's in that warranty network." So I basically told him no, and this was through text message, and he called me up telling me, that he's going to get his money back one way or another. I said, "Well, do you intend to take me to court on an as-is car deal? Because I don't think it'll be successful." And he said, "Well, we're going to court and then some." And this was over my my business phone line. I have like an app for my business phone through my cell phone, and it records everything automatically and stores it to this cloud thing, and so on and so forth. It's like I can pay to get the recording if I need it. It's like some nominal charge, like $1.50 for each one under whatever amount of time, 30 minutes, I think, which this conversation was less than 30 minutes. So we're being recorded, and I said, okay, so he says, we're going to court and then some. I said, well, court is that. Like, there is no and then some, so I don't know what you think you mean by and then some. And he says, then he told me he was going to put a bullet in my ass if I didn't buy the car back from him, which, like I said, even if you had bought it from, a used car lot or, a franchise car dealer used, you would not be able to compel them to purchase the car back from you after you've taken delivery, especially multiple days after you've taken delivery, not just, So, I said, well, that statement is something you're probably going to regret because, this is a recorded line. And then he was like, I'm just going to turn this into the police now because I have to. If something happens on my business property, I have commercial insurance. They're going to want a police report and all that. Even if, I really don't believe that he intended to, I don't know if he would ever do it. It's like one of those things. People make threats like that all the time. But when you start talking about coming to my business and shooting up the place, I got to report it, I guess. So I went ahead and I called the police, and turns out that he had a history of armed robbery and was on indefinite probation, and the whole thing spiraled into like a bigger deal than it really should have been. It should have been like, the police go there, write a order saying don't return to that business's premises, and that's it, which normally that's what it would be. But unfortunately, this man wasn't accounting for his past misdeeds, and I don't know if they violated him for probation. I know they put a warrant out for him for it, and it was all a big deal. And then somehow before he went and got caught, he decided he was gonna, go and slanderize my business on Google, which was also a bad decision because now, pretty much what I've got to do is, because it really just isn't accurate information. It's not like he came to me, had work done, and it didn't work out, or something like that, or the work wasn't completed. He bought a car with disclosed transmission issues. Then when he found out that he was going to have to buy a whole transmission for a car with transmission issues disclosed in the ad, he decided to slanderize my business over it. So now the only thing I really can do is take him to civil court over that, which I stand a pretty good case to win because it's not slander, it's another word. There's a word for it, but it's like per se a form of slander against your business or libel or whatever. Anyway, it's not a big deal. I'm not really looking for the money. I just want him to take the ad down the review down, because he never even had work done by me. He bought a car that was in liquidation for a mechanic storage lien. So it's not anything to do with the quality of work that I do at my shop. It's kind of a bummer, So anyway, that's what's been going on with that. But I'm pretty sure he's either sitting in jail or he's got a pretty large, hefty bond against him. So Jake wants to know where I'm going for lunch. I have a gift card for Arby's that I think I'll use. Have I bought any cars? Well, I traded my old trailer for an Xterra, so got that going for me. Sold the Xterra. It was just, it's easier to sell an Xterra than it is to sell a trailer. I don't really think of it as a major financial gain, but anyway, Tim says he's back. He was traveling the world, participating in the world's smallest penis contest. Good news, he's the winner in every contest. So you went from country to country participating in the world's smallest penis contest, not just in America. Certain countries, like, it's probably easier to win a contest like that than others. Like if you went to like Zimbabwe or something, you just you got a pretty good chance of winning that. But I don't know, man. I'm not gonna like single out any certain country and say like that it's harder to win that contest there, because that'd just be rude and, you know, xenophobic. But yeah, congratulations. Where are you gonna spend all your winnings? That's the real question. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just lost cell phone service because the video is acting weird now. I hope I didn't lose cell phone service. That would suck. But yeah, anyway, we're almost to the dealership. I figure I'll just make this one long video, or... Well, actually, I think I lost cell phone reception or something, because it was like I went from having multiple viewers. Oh, there, we're back again. Alright, cool. I hate that when that happens. But yeah, I'm about to turn into this place. Maybe I can live stream from the dealership without being too obvious. Also, trying to turn into this dealership is a little bit of a chore, but... because it kind of sneaks up on you, you know? You're going to join the circus. Specifically, which circus? Because certain circuses are better than others. Here we go. We are here. I managed to make... And of course, I got a phone call as soon as I pulled in. Sorry about that. I mean, I don't know who told you I have a small package, but they lied. Hang on a second. Sorry for this weird angle. I'm gonna back up to my trailer. Might have to make them move this forklift. What's going on? Everybody's back again. I must have lost service because everybody left for a minute and then they all came back. I'm probably a mile away from the ball of this trailer because I kind of had to go around the forklift. Hey, Paul, what's up, buddy? Paul came in second place. Okay. Alright. Yeah, they've got my trailer way too low anyway. As you can see, they had like the trailer like a foot below where my hitch is, so gotta crank this for a year. But yeah, this is it. Hang on, I'll get this thing hooked up. I think it should be there. Yeah, close enough. I'm surprised there's nobody even out here, honestly. Hi, it's John. Still have your dolly. And added a winch and battery box. Well, John, that's right. John had the old trailer that I had, and I had bought that off of him for a pretty good price, but I had to do a lot of work to it, and I used that trailer for quite some time. Actually, well, not quite a year, because I think I got that trailer in March, and I just replaced it with this brand new one. So, but yeah, it's good. I'm surprised that you could add a winch to that dolly. It's probably a lot easier that way. Hey, what's up, man?
Alright, so I noticed something, and it might not be what was doing it.
Uh-huh.
But this little breakaway switch cable right here.
Yep.
This right here was pulled out just a little bit.
Okay.
And when I pushed it in, I heard it relax.
Okay.
So it might have been that this was just out far enough where it was engaging.
Well, it was like just dragging very lightly.
Yeah.
Like, and then over time, like that wheel would even get hot. This wheel was fine, but that wheel would get really hot. So
check it out and see. If you have anything, let me know. I mean,
yeah,
or if you want to drop it off with me for a couple of days when it ain't rain, I can get out there and rip it all apart.
Yeah.
But I can't fit it in the bay.
I mean, is there a way? Because like I know that like I work with an RV dealership,
right.
and I sub work off them, and they write it under their warranty. Sure. If I just do it, can I just send it in for your warranty? I don't have your book time, so to bill it, I can get their book times and bill it to them.
We'll see. Like I said, they sent me free parts and everything.
Yeah, so I could at least get the parts
off.
on that. Yeah.
But it's because it's a carry-on trailer, it's a carry-on warranty.
Okay.
It's definitely under warranty. It ain't no big deal.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, I don't.
I just couldn't get it to replicate out here.
I think if you had drove it like around a little bit, that thing.
Get up to a truck and drive it around.
Yeah,
yeah. Moving around,
so if you go down the road with it,
put power to it.
Oh yeah.
You got the brakes to engage.
Oh yeah, they definitely. I'm sure
I got
were.
the brakes to engage.
With that.
Disengage with this.
Right.
When I popped it back in there the first time though, it relaxed like it was actually trying to engage. It might have been this breakaway switch cable right here.
Well, they were supposed to shut off after 60 seconds. Mm-hmm. That's what these breakaway switches are supposed to be.
Well, it just draws current off of that battery, yeah.
Yeah, but it's only supposed to stay on for 60 seconds. That's all the ones that I've ever looked at, they all do 60 seconds. I mean, I'm not saying that this one's the same as every other one, but that's what they're supposed to do. Because the idea is if this thing malfunctions, like if this thing shorts out, it's not going to leave you stranded. You know what I mean? It'll just shut off and let you take off. Yeah. That's why they do that. So even if it was partially pulled out, first of all, it should have locked them up completely tight. There's no like in between on it. Yeah. So it would have locked them up completely tight.
Like I said, I don't think that could have been what it was. I just couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't duplicate.
I mean, I'm almost tempted to.
I couldn't hear it humming either.
Oh, it's. I mean, you want to get in the truck or roll down the windows, you'll hear it just whoosh, whoosh, whoosh down the road. That's all you hear. I mean, I thought it sounds. I thought there was something wrong with my truck when I was pulling it because it was so loud with the windows down.
Well, like I said, if you decide, just do whatever, we'll get it squared away. We'll get it squared away for you.
Yeah, if nothing else, at least if I can get the parts, that'll at least be a help.
That's cool. Just let me know what you got to do to get it right. If it's still doing it, and like I said, if it's still happening, I'll go ahead and fix it, get it squared away. Just let me know what's going on with it.
Yeah, okay.
We'll get you reimbursed.
All right, thank you.
All right, buddy.
So you guys heard that whole exchange. Oh, you got a 16-foot trailer now? Yeah, the hard thing with the trailer that I had before was just how short it was and how high it was. It was like hard to get a car on it. And here's a pro tip for you guys. That do a lot of trailers. If you put your four-ways on, you're gonna know if all your lights work because the blinkers work off the same wires as the brakes. But yeah. So this is it. 18 feet, all metal deck. It's got this dovetail down on the end here. Yeah, man, that old one, the ramps that were on it, I had to cut them right off because you couldn't even actually get a car up those ramps. At least I never could. I ended up cutting those ramps, the flip-up ramps, right off of it, and building some 9-foot long ramps. See here. What the hell, Paul? I'm reading about everything here. Yeah, the old trailer I had, who the owner of it is actually in the comments here, that one was real tall because I'm pretty sure it was built off the frame of a camper, and it had hub-centric wheels, which hub-centric wheels, when we're talking about equipment and trailers and that kind of thing, hub-centric wheels are the type where they kind of like bolt on around the outside and they don't have like spokes in them. They're just like a rim. That's the best way I can explain it, I guess. A lot of you guys will know what I'm talking about, like what you see like mobile home axles have. It was like those type. But yeah, it had those type of wheels on it. It was hard to get tires for it, honestly, because that was the first thing I had to do is I had to buy tires. And it took me quite a while to find anybody that had tires, and then I couldn't even get anybody to put them on the wheels because they were scared, because they didn't understand that they weren't the type that kill you. They're like, oh, I heard those were the type that kill you. I'm like, no, it's the other type. Close. But yeah, just kind of letting traffic go by here before I go whipping out with this trailer on. But anyway, I mean, I just had like a hard time using it often, which I've just been finding that I am using it more and more often as things go and time progresses. And you know, it had flip up ramps on it, but they were like 3 or 4 feet long, and it made the angle crazy. Like, I'm not sure if it's even possible to load a car up those ramps. Like, I know that it had cars on it before, but I don't know how they got up it. Because I ended up cutting those ramps off and building 9-foot long ramps, which made it at least an approach angle that would not destroy the front bumper of a car, which was good. But then they weren't flip up anymore, and having 9-foot long ramps flip up would look pretty weird anyway and probably wouldn't be safe. They weren't flip up anymore, and you had to leave them on the deck of the trailer or put them in the back of the truck and then carry them around. And being that they were made out of some pretty heavy duty steel, channel iron and angle iron, so like the frame of it, the outside of it was all channel, and then it was angle iron down the middle. They were extremely heavy. I'd say that they were pushing at least 100 pounds each. And so that was always a real task to try and handle those ramps. And I had a Dodge truck when I first got them, and the ramps pretty much fit in the bed of that. But then I got this Super Crew Ford, which has a really, really short bed on it. And so I couldn't even keep the ramps in the bed of this truck, or else they'd hang over the hood of the car, or worse, and, you know, hit the hood of the car. So I had to like slide the ramps underneath the car and strap the ramp to the trailer. It was a big hassle, and everything about it sucked. I ended up having to put a sway controller on that trailer because anytime you load a pickup on it, the deck of it was so high that the center of gravity was real high, and the axles were right in the middle of that trailer, so you couldn't put enough tongue weight on it to make it pull straight. I put a sway controller on it so at least I could haul it, pick up on it and everything, but still, it just wasn't ideal. It was a lot of work to load that trailer is what I'm getting at, and ultimately it was real short. So I went out and bought this trailer brand new. Much money in reality. I mean, by the time I bought the old trailer and put all the money in it to make it roadworthy and usable on a daily basis, you know, including the ramps and the tires, and I had to rewire it, put new lights on it, all that jazz. By the time I was in it, I was probably pushing $1,600, $1,700, and I got the trailer for really cheap, and I still was pushing like $1,600, $1,700 on that thing, which really sucked. And so, you know, when you consider I did pay like when you consider that I did pay $3,200 for this brand new trailer, yes, it's a lot more, but you know, it's just totally worth it. Now, if I can get past the little brake issue with it, then I'll be golden. Let's see here, we got a couple more questions here. It says, why don't you dovetail the trailer? Can't on that old trailer, I couldn't because the axles were too far forward. And if I added a dovetail, it would only really make the problem worse. The only way that I could have altered that trailer to make it better to use probably would have been to cut the axles off it and move them back on the frame, like almost to the end, and then build on to the end of it. Or vice versa, I could have, you know, left them where they were, cut the tongue off and put on the front. But if I added a dovetail, the tail swing on that trailer would have been crazy, and it really just would not have been something ideal to haul around. Tim wishes he had a tail and looked like a dove. I mean, you do look like a dove, just without a tail. A very ugly dove. But yeah, this current trailer has a really long dovetail. I mean, I don't know if you guys could tell in the video, because I was not trying to make it obvious that I was live streaming from the dealership parking lot, but the dovetail on this new trailer, this trailer is 18 feet. The old trailer is only 12 feet. This trailer is 18 feet long, and it's probably at least, the deck is probably at least a foot wider. And I know this because I hauled a tractor that I had hauled with the old trailer on this trailer, and there was significantly more room on the sides. So this is like significantly wider, significantly longer, and it has a really long dovetail, and the ramps are like slide out ramps, so they're always attached, and what you do is you just pull a pin and you slide the ramp straight back, and it just comes right out, and it's much easier to use. You don't gotta carry them at all. It takes like 2 seconds. And I mean, the only thing that takes long, you know, that's kind of a bitch about using trailers is just strapping down the vehicle. But that wouldn't matter what kind of trailer you had, you'd still have to strap it down. I mean, that's just how it goes. But yeah, I have no complaints about the functionality of it. It's just this one brake problem, which is pretty minor in the scheme of things. And we'll get that taken care of, and we'll be good to go. I mean, I kind of thought when I got it, because I really wanted to get as long of a trailer as I could. If I could get a trailer, if they made a trailer that was long enough to haul 2 cars on it, and on this truck with a ball hitch, I would buy it. But I mean, I probably never would haul 2 cars on this truck, but at least if I had that kind of length, it'd be real nice. But this thing is pretty good. Not in a slider one, hook and go. What? I'm not sure what you're trying to say there, Jake. But yeah, I'm gonna probably head over to my shop and drop this trailer and go get lunch, I think. Or I might just stop somewhere with the trailer on and just park in the parking lot and walk inside. It's probably easier, because I don't like to keep the trailer at my shop. I don't have unlimited parking at the shop, so I tend to bring the trailer back to my apartment. You ever consider getting a job in traveling with the circus Ringling Brothers? No, I don't. Unfortunately, sorry. But yeah. Let's see, what have I hauled with this? There's a lot of stuff that's gone on since I've really updated you guys on my situation. I bought a 73 F100 and a 2005 Crown Vic, and I'm in the process, kind of on the side, not like a main gig, of pulling the body off of the Crown Vic and putting the F100 body on that, which some of you that are familiar with like the Motor Trend line of shows, they did a project called a Crown Hick, but with like kind of look, I'm not sure if their truck was a unibody truck, but it was like a 64 F100, which is not my favorite year. I like the dent side Ford trucks. My first car was a 78 F100, which is a dent side truck. This one's a little bit older, but has a better looking front end than the 78. So that's why, you know, I want to do it with this truck instead of an older truck. Like a 68 would be kind of cool too, but like, I don't know, just because it was my first car, it'd be kind of cool to have one again that drives really nice. So that's what I'd like to do. And, you know, it's one of those things, obviously, it's all about time, and I guess not so much money, because I've gotten all the, I wouldn't say all the stuff, but most of the stuff that I need to do it. And so basically, it's just gonna be my time. Working on the wiring right now. I've pulled the interior harness out of the Crown Vic, pulled the dash out of the Crown Vic. All that's going on, and I might make a video for you guys about it, if it's something that you guys are even interested in. And just kind of slowly taking it step by step. Says, what about working as a Carny at the Carnival? You can work that game where you shoot water into balloons. Actually, when I was a kid, something like that would have definitely interested me. One of my favorite uncles, my Uncle Larry, was a Carny for many, many years. And the way that it works is at least for him, he didn't work for the Carnival. He bought a spot on the Carnival and owned the game. So, you know, he paid for his spot, and then pretty much any money he made off his game, he kept. And he had one game, it was like a cork gun game where you have these old school, I don't know if they're BB guns or what, but you could push corks in the end of them. And then he had these wooden tablets that sat up on a shelf, and you would shoot down these tablets, and they would have prizes associated with them. And so, you know, you could shoot them down and all that, and it's a pretty good deal. Then Tim also said that I should sell flatbed trailers. Well, as a matter of fact, I might end up doing that. I don't want to speak too early, but me and my friend are working on starting a used car lot of our own. Right now, she is about to do her dealer operator pre-licensing course, which is required in Virginia, on the 15th. She has paid for that class, and I am working with a real estate agent to get us into a new commercial property, because my current shop obviously is too small to host a operation like that. But we're working on getting into some commercial property somewhere near where my current shop is. It's going to have a office and sales area for her dealership side, and I'm going to have my automotive repair shop still, but it's just going to be in that new location. And yeah, you know the name for my dealership, Kyle's Cars. Yeah, well, it's going to be her dealership technically, not my dealership, but the idea is that we're going to share expenses on the location. Basically, my company is going to lease the location and sublet the office and parking area to her dealership. So this will be all her, and then we're going to have an agreement to have me service her dealership inventory, and possibly just go ahead and obtain the cars at auction, and she's going to do the sales side of it. So she's going to contract with my company to do her inventory, service her inventory, all that, and then it's going to be her job to actually sell the cars, which is awesome, because selling the cars is the worst part for me. I'd rather just go and buy them and get paid, you know. So it'll be good for my company. I'm really happy to support her, and that should all be fun, and it will definitely add to the resume and all that. So, but like I said, we're in the beginning stages. There's a lot of things that can happen between now and then, but like I said, she's taking her dealer operator pre-licensing course on the 15th. Then after that, she goes and takes a written test. Cars. So, but yeah, what else is happening? I'm still curious. You guys were making it sound like something was happening with Rick, and now I just want to know. You guys won't even tell me. I'm just curious, but now you're going to make me go and watch like 3 hours of his videos trying to find out what happened, and then find out nothing happened. But who cares? Oh well. Let's see. What else we got going on here? Rick said if you build it, they will come. Well, I'm hoping I won't build it. I'm hoping I'll just lease something that already is there. I really don't want to have to build a building. I hate doing construction work with a passion. Oh, you're gonna let me get over. Awesome. What else? I'm gonna beat the odds. Okay. I'm not sure what that means either, but thanks. I didn't know there were odds against me to beat. But I appreciate that uplifting comment. But anyway, what I was getting to is in the process of that, obtaining the dealer license and, like I said, going to be contracted to do inventory and whatnot. I was contacted by a trailer company who I'm not familiar with. I mean, there's countless trailer companies and from all different corners of this country. So obviously you can't be familiar with all of them, but I think they're like an upstart kind of company. They've got a couple of models out. I think they've got a dump trailer that I saw that they make, which is pretty popular to sell. And they've got a couple other ones. And I was contacted by them. I'm supposed to do a conference call with them sometime next week about, you know, what their trailer lineup is looking like and what their MSRP is going to be. So we might get into doing that as well as cars. So that'll be good. Let's celebrate. All right, let's do it. Come on over. We'll celebrate. But yeah. Also, I have a website for my shop now. If you guys are interested, maybe after I post this, I'll throw that in the description of the video. Maybe not. I don't know. There's not really much to see, but it's KylesCarsVA.com. That's Kyles with an S, Cars with an S, VA, like Virginia.com. So you can go there. There ain't really that much to see, but, you know, just something interesting to look at. And what else? I have a Facebook page for the company that's under Kyle's Cars LLC. So you can find that on Facebook. Same picture that's on the YouTube channel. Pretty easy to find. If you guys want to follow my Facebook page, post humorous, interesting things there. Different things that are going on with me on that. And yeah, that's pretty much what's happening now. If you guys are from Virginia and know of some commercial property for lease that might work for what I was talking about, you can always hit me with that. Like I said, I do have a commercial real estate agent helping me find a place to lease, but, you know, it's one of those things. It's like, with commercial property, it's not like you just hop on Craigslist or Zillow and find it. I mean, you can hop on Craigslist and find some. You can hop on a site called LoopNet. And all that and find some, but for some reason a lot of that stuff's off market. Tim wants to know, what did the guy say on the phone when I told him he was being recorded? Did he panic or play it cool? No, he just made it worse, honestly. I was like, hey, you know, you're on a recorded line, so, you know, I'm obviously going to hand this over to the police. You just said you would shoot me. And he told me he didn't, you know, care about the police in much harsher terms than I'm using. He said he didn't care about the police or anything, and how he's done time and his friends will keep his cell warm for him and all this and that. And I said, well, okay. But funny enough, after saying that and after finding out that I wasn't joking, one of his friends had one of his friends contact me on Facebook asking me to drop the charges, which I didn't initiate the charges, so I didn't have the ability to drop the charges. I only filed a report, honestly, because if he showed up and vandalized some stuff, or if he came there shooting up the place or anything crazy on the off chance. I wanted to make sure that I had done everything correctly for my insurance. If this had been, a year ago, and somebody said to me, I would have been like, okay. And I would have, like, forgotten about it, because it's different, though, when you've got, like, commercial insurance involved, different people that you have to make sure, all that. Could I keep making videos? Well, I'm trying to make more videos. Like I said, it's just I've been real busy and trying to run a business and make videos, and I got no employees. I'm a one-man operation, and I'm getting more work, but not more help. I might have said this before in some of my other videos. I'm surprised I've been on this long. An hour now. I said this before in my other videos, but I attempted to hire a couple different people. Actually, a total of 3. So the first guy that I hired, he ended up showing up late to the interview. Then he showed up late to his first day. Then left early his first day. Showed up late on his second day and left at lunchtime the second day. Asked for the day off for his third day. Then was a complete no-show every other day after that. And it turned out that he ended up going to jail for a couple of days for beating up his girlfriend or his wife or whoever she was. And he had his cousin or somebody call me up and ask me to bail him out, which I was not going to do because I had already paid him early. The last day that I saw him, I had paid him half of the money. After he'd only worked 2 days, I paid him half the money that I was supposed to pay him on Friday that he had already worked for. I went ahead and did that because it was supposed to be a weekly pay deal. I paid him half of that for those 2 days so he could buy a pack of cigarettes or whatever. Plus I bought him lunch, I think, at least one of those days. And then after that all happened, I don't know if he lost track, but he only worked really a total of 8 hours, I think. And I had paid him for half of that, and then there was like a little bit of conjecture on how long of a lunch he took each one of those days. Anyway, he wasn't very happy with the fact that I pretty much only owed him, like, I can't remember how much, it was like 30 or 40 bucks, if that, because he only worked like 8 hours, and I paid him half. And he went back and forth, and I kicked him off the property and said, don't come back here. Like, here's your money that, you're truly owed. I have all your hours written down here. And if you're not happy with that, there's nothing I can do to help you, but you need to leave. So he did. And then I had another guy work for me for a few days. He was a nice enough kid, and he seemed to be reliable at first. He showed up on time, did all that. And he ended up one day deciding to tell me all about how he heard voices in his head, which I didn't think he was serious, and I decided to make a little joke about it. Said, hey, don't want to tell everybody that. They might put you in a jacket where their arms are connected. And turned out he was serious and was quite offended at that statement, which, sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. It's not a statement I hear every day, so... So then that happened, and then what else? So then after that, he decided that he wanted to take some time off, which he only worked part-time anyway, but he decided the day before he needed the day off, he would tell me he wanted the day off, and I said, oh yeah, well, what's going on, man? Like, thinking like maybe there's some type of emergency going on. I don't know. So I said, well, what's going on, man? And he said, well, I promised my aunt I would go to a Christian music concert with her, and it's tomorrow. And I said, well, okay, well, you promised me that you would be here tomorrow, so I guess one of us is going to be disappointed. And so then that happened, and then before that tomorrow even came, that same day, realizing that I wasn't too happy about him just randomly taking time off, he decided he would just quit. Which I didn't tell him not to ever come back over it. I was just like, hey, you know, I'm not particularly impressed with your decision making here. So he decided to quit for multiple reasons, I guess. And then there was a young kid that I hired just to work on weekends. And the reason why I hired him is every week since I've been in this area, I have seen him come through our parking lot. And there's a couple other businesses and that use the same parking area. But I've seen this fella come through here looking for scrap metal and wires. And I said, hey, do you need money? Are you looking for a job? And I talked to him a little bit, and he was still in school, but he was 18 and all that. So I said, okay, well, if you want to come in on the weekends when you have a little bit of time, I'd be happy to give you, you know, a little bit of work rather than having to chase scrap metal. And he thought that was a wonderful idea. So I let him do a couple easy things. I don't have very much in the way of, you know, medial tasks to do with my business, but I did have a couple of easier jobs. I let him do a ball joint in a truck, and it took him all day to do the one ball joint. I totally understand. You know, it's your first time working this kind of work. You know, I got to train you up a little bit. So then he was supposed to show up, and he was supposed to show up again. I never saw him again, and then a few weeks later he showed up. He goes, well, I was really nervous to tell you, but I can't do this type of work. It's too much for me. I said, well, hey man, it's fine. I'm not upset, you know. I'll let him go on his way. Let's see here what we got going on. Have you seen B is for Build? His videos, Build's videos. His channel is cool, and you should try something like that. Yeah, well, his channel is cool, and I've seen a couple of his videos. The problem with it is it's extremely time consuming. And he's able to do this because that's all he does, you know? So that's kind of how that goes. And, you know, it's one of those things you gotta make a pretty big investment into something like YouTube to make it a full-time career. And I need to make money now. I got a lot of bills now. I can't afford to just sit here and make only YouTube videos, put in the time it takes to shoot them, to show you everything, and to do all that. So watch out, those guys will take one tool at a time. Well, luckily my tools aren't worth anything, so if they take one tool at a time, I mean, I wouldn't be happy about it, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. So but yeah. Paul says, I'm gonna apply for a job with you and put my feet up on your desk and demand $80,000 a year. Well, then you won't be hired for the job. Thanks for the warning. But yeah, I guess I'll show you guys this trailer real quick before my phone battery dies. Give you a better look. I hope that the service here is sufficient to really see anything. Oh, so now you've hired yourself, Paul. But yeah, this is it. Like I was saying, these are the slide out ramps that I was talking about right here. So you pull this pin out and they slide out, and there's this dovetail. So pretty much they're just like straight to the ground from the dovetail. So you see what I'm saying? It like follows that same line. So it's a very, very pretty safe, gradual approach on this. So yeah, has these cool little tabs, so you know when you're at the front of it, because the car's tire will bump right there. And has D-rings, has 4 D-rings on the deck. It's all metal. This is the only metal trailer I could find within like 100 miles, brand new. All of them are wood decks, like my friend's trailer over here on the other side of me. Because initially I was kind of looking for a trailer like this, which this one is pretty much the same thing that I have, but I think it's a 20-footer. But otherwise it's the same, but with a wood deck, which kind of sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'll take a wood deck, but I really wanted a metal deck, and I couldn't find a 20-footer in metal like mine is, but did find this 18-footer, which is totally fine. And I think that my trailer is slightly wider than that 20-footer, but it might just be an optical illusion. So, but yeah. Everything on is brand new. It only has brakes on this back axle, which, once again, is fine. Because like I said, I don't even have the brakes hooked up right now. And I think I could add brakes to the front axle if I desire. I think all you have to do is just buy, like, it's like 4 bolts in behind the wheel, and it's like its own hub deal. So you could possibly add 4-wheel brakes to it, but I don't think I need it. But yeah. How about starting a company that sells socks that you put down your pants? Yeah. I mean, that's just regular socks, isn't it? That's what I do. Anyways, guys, I'm going to cut this one off because my phone's about to die and it's been an hour, but appreciate you guys watching. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll catch everybody in the next one.